Okay, here we are finishing up the last leg. And I'm going to show you how we measure the leg, or how I'm measuring these legs. Okay, now that we got the rough, just spin it all the way around to make sure there's no flats. Okay, there's no flats. Now that we got the rough straight all the way across, I decided to make my legs 14 inches. So I make a mark here. Make a mark here. That's 14 inches. I've been measuring halfway, which is 7 inches. I've also been measuring 2 inches down from the top for my slope to go in to fit into the stool. And basically that I've been using these measurements on all the so 14 from top to bottom. 2 inches down where it fits inside the stool, about the base of the stool, and 7 inches at the halfway mark. And I've been cutting them according to this. was not good. That was not good indeed. That rarely happens. At this stage in the game. It rarely ever happens. This is what 5-minute epoxy is for, though. Now, that's a shame. That's a bad tear out right there. Right where I don't want it. I'm going to have to repair that. I'm going to use 5-minute epoxy to make the repair, and I'm going to have to glue this up, re-glue this up, because I don't want to waste this leg. Now I think I can make a sufficient repair where I got the piece. If I fit it in there properly, I think I can make a sufficient repair where it won't be a problem. So that's what we're going to do. But anyway, here's the other 3 legs, ready to be sanded and trimmed. You notice I don't cut them, I don't trim them, because I can slip them back on the lathe for sanding. I never cut and trim these ends until I'm completely done with the legs, because I want to be able to put them back on the lathe for sanding. The lathe is a great place for sanding them. So you can take them off, and you can slip them right back on again, and they're still balanced. If you have these, you have the chuck marks in the end, because they'll slide right on back where they were again. And if you notice, tighten this up on the lathe, and I start the lathe, it's still balanced. As long as I don't cut them to the length they're supposed to be. Now I'll trim them up and cut them after I get them all sanded. So now it's time to do that repair to that piece. Here's the piece. Get a close-up. I can fit it right in there. Fill it with epoxy, and then wrap tape tightly around it, so the tape holds it in tight like that. And in about 5 minutes, when the epoxy sets, I'll get a reasonable repair on that piece, so that it's still usable. Then when I take my chisel back to it and I start turning it back down again and sanding it, I'll just be careful that spot after the repair's been made. So we got our pieces ready to go. This one has to have this put in and this put in yet on this one. There's the 4. Maybe I'll show you, let's see how much time we got. We're at 9 minutes. If I hurry, maybe I can show you the epoxy, how you mix it and use it. It's very simple. Bring it over here, the camera over here, where I'll make the repair. See if get the camera in the right angle, so we can see. Take the wood chip out. And I'll squeeze out a bit of epoxy. And I'll mix it up with my pencil. Got to mix it thoroughly. It's 2-part epoxy. Sets in 5 minutes. I'll squish it into the spot where I want to make the repair. Careful to get it everywhere. Piece of wood is broke. Slide it back in where it's supposed to be. Squish it in tight as I can get it. Take a piece of tape. Using boxing tape. Really tight around the selected area. There. Now, I only used just the tiniest little bit of epoxy. Maybe 2 cents worth of epoxy to make that repair. But, and that'll only take 5 minutes, and I'm ready to put it back on the lathe again. So that's it for this video.